Today we're looking at the history of the caste system. Hello, welcome to the Daily Bellringer World History. Please don't forget to subscribe and take a look at the questions down in the description. Also, don't forget to check out dailybellringer.com where you'll find more resources that go with many of the Bellringer videos. The caste system is one of the oldest social systems in the world and has shaped life in India for thousands of years. It began in ancient India as a way to organize people based on their jobs and responsibilities. Over time, it became a very strict system that determined almost every part of a person's life, including what work they would do, who they could marry, and even what they could eat. The origins of the caste system can be traced back to around 1500 BC, when theories suggest a group of people called the Aryans arrived in India. The Aryans were nomadic herders who migrated from Central Asia into the Indian subcontinent. When they settled in the fertile lands near the Indus and Ganges rivers, they brought their own social structure and traditions. The Aryans divided their society into groups called varnas, which is a Sanskrit word meaning color or class. There were four main varnas in ancient Indian society. At the top were the Brahmins, who were priests and scholars. They performed religious rituals, taught sacred texts, and were considered the spiritual leaders of the society. Next came the Kshatriya, who were warriors and rulers. They protected the land and governed the people. The third group was the Vaishyas, who were merchants, farmers, and traders. They helped keep the economy running through their work in agriculture and trade. The fourth group was the Shudras, who were laborers and servants. They did the work that supported the other classes, such as farming, cleaning, and building. Outside of the Varna system were people who were not considered part of any group. These people later came to be known as Untouchables or Dalits. They were often given the hardest and least respected jobs, such as cleaning waste or handling dead animals. Unfortunately, they were treated very unfairly and were often excluded from normal social life. The caste system was closely connected to the religion of Hinduism, which developed in ancient India. Hindu religious texts such as the Rig Veda and later the Laws of Manu describe the duties and responsibilities of each varna. These texts taught that everyone had a role to play in maintaining balance in the universe, which was called the dharma. Dharma meant doing one's duty according to their place in society. People believed that if they followed their dharma faithfully, they could be reborn into a higher caste in their next life through reincarnation, the Hindu belief that souls are reborn after death. For many centuries, the caste system remained a key part of Indian life. Over time, the four varnas were divided into hundreds of smaller groups called jatis, which were based on specific jobs and local traditions. These jatis became hereditary, meaning people were born into them and could not change their caste. This made the system very rigid and unfair to those in the lower caste. Despite its problems, the caste system helped organize ancient Indian society for a long time. Everyone knew their role and the system provided order and structure. However, it also created deep divisions between people. Those in higher castes often had more power, wealth, and education, while those in lower castes faced discrimination and poverty. As time went on, many leaders and thinkers began to question the fairness of the caste system. Around the 6th century BC, Siddhartha Gautama, known as the Buddha, taught that all people were equal and that a person's worth should not be based on the class they were born into. In later centuries, especially during India's struggle for independence from British rule, social reformers like Mahatma Gandhi worked to end caste discrimination. After India became independent in 1947, its new constitution made caste discrimination illegal. Today, although the caste system still influences some parts of Indian society, many people are working to create equality and opportunity for everyone, no matter their background. The history of the caste system in ancient India shows both the strengths and weaknesses of a complex society. It organized communities and helped preserve traditions, but it also caused great injustice for many people. So with that, hopefully you learned something, and thanks for watching.